Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. Today, we are going to be talking about the latest on Manchester United. We're going to be talking about Jadon Sancho. We're going to be talking about Marcus Rashford. We are going to be talking about the keeper situation. Onana, what's happening over there? We are also going to talk about the improved bid that Manchester United made for Bryan Mbuemo. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Right. So, Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is sparking some sort of traction on the transfer market. It seems like there's a lot that is going on around Jadon Sancho, and I thought that I should let you guys know. So, as it stands right now, there are about 3 clubs that are in for Jadon Sancho: Juventus, Napoli, and Fenerbache. Now, 2 of those clubs do not want to sign Jadon Sancho because of his wage demands. His salary is way too expensive. The player that he is, and for what he's going to offer and what their books can offer, is way too much. That is why they have paused on trying to get Jadon Sancho. But the interest is very heavy because Napoli are looking for a winger to add on to their situation. Juventus are also looking for a winger because I think some of their players are leaving, or some have left, or will be leaving, and so they need replacements. And as for Fenerbahce, Allan Saint has left. His loan deal has expired. So boy has gone back to Saudi Arabia, I assume, and they need a winger. So, what's the story on that? So, amongst those 3 teams, Fenerbahce seems to be the team that really is interested in Jadon Sancho. And this is a very... Personally, I think this is a very interesting deal. Why? Because, honestly, I don't know if Jadon Sancho has ever played under Jose Mourinho. I don't know if he knows how tough Jose Mourinho is. And I'm intrigued as well as to does Jose Mourinho, because according to the reports, Jose Mourinho greenlit this deal, meaning he wants Jadon Sancho at Fenerbahce, and I can see it. For all you that know me, you guys know that I have a very soft spot for Jose Mourinho. I love Jose Mourinho, the way he manages, the way he deals with stuff. He's just one of my guys. He's one of the guys that when I look at him or when I see him on TV, I just smile because, man, it's Jose. And Jose Mourinho has evolved over the years. He's what does he say? He's saying he's trying to find the balance between being old school and this new generation of players. And I think he's adapted well. And if there's one guy that can truly get the best out of Jadon Sancho, or create an environment where he challenges Jadon Sancho, I think it is Jose Mourinho. I think Jadon Sancho going to Fenerbahce is a very interesting deal, in the sense that, look, at Manchester United he was blamed for being lazy. He was blamed for somebody that wasn't working hard. He left, went to Chelsea. At Chelsea, he didn't particularly do well. Like, he didn't set the world on fire there when he went to Chelsea. He was still a normal player, but then there's always this sense with Sancho. He reminds me of Pogba then, when it was like, Pogba on his day, Pogba will kill you, Pogba on his day, all of that. And I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, Jadon Sancho, he has become that player. He can go to Fenerbahce. I truly believe, like, if there's somebody that's gonna put him in his place and teach him life, or teach him how to deal with the football world, it's gonna be Jose Mourinho. Now, there are 2 things there. Him going to Fenerbahce could backfire dismally, because Jose Mourinho is not like I said, he's evolved, but at the same time, he doesn't take crap. So if Jadon Sancho will go to Fenerbahce, because the only reason why he's he's heavily linked with Fenerbahce is because they've agreed personal terms. And you remember what we've talked about. When it comes to personal terms, if those have been agreed, then the next step is for the clubs to start negotiating and start figuring things out. Now, one of the biggest reasons why Juventus and Napoli, which by the way, you would think because Juventus is doing very well in the World Cup. Napoli won the Scudetto last season, are building sort of like a galactical team. Like if Napoli are about to become very deadly in Europe. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the transfer market and what's happening with Napoli, but Antonio Conte is assembling the Avengers. We've got Scott McSauce already there, we've got Lukaku already there, but then Kevin De Bruyne has just joined them. Darwin Núñez, apparently they're looking into. They are assembling one of the strongest teams that's going to be in Europe next season. It could backfire. This is football, anything can happen. It could backfire. But on paper, what Antonio Conte is building, Kevin De Bruyne alone, is just somebody that will turn heads. Now you've got Kevin De Bruyne, that's a story for another day. Now, Kevin De Bruyne, all these other guys, I can understand for Kevin De Bruyne. I don't know how much he's going to be getting when he goes to Napoli. But Napoli are very strict with their salary. Remember Garnacho. Garnacho could have been in Napoli by now. He would have gone in the January transfer. But they couldn't agree on his salary. His salary was a problem, a stumbling block. And I guess at the time they were saying that he wanted 200k a week. And these guys are like, nah, for a child, we don't even have a salary cap of that. I don't think even our best players are on that money. And it's like, what? And when I remember that time when I found out about that, I think that was the end for me and Garnacho. Because I realized that, wow. And I was still trying to figure out if it was a strategy from Garnacho's camp and himself to staying in Manchester United. But then the way we read, and then when the president of Napoli came out and said, no, like his statement about, we don't give players that much, it made me sick to my stomach. Because I thought to myself, wow, so Garnacho went there and he just asked for some ridiculous money, which obviously he's not going to get at Manchester. He thought he could get it there. Who the hell does he think he is? Already that just rubbed me the wrong way. So I just, I already started looking at Garnacho sideways, because in my mind I'm like, this kid shouldn't be here, but he's here. He could have gone, but he's still here, and unfortunately it didn't turn around good for him. But Jadon Sancho is here now. He's only looking for a payday, and once Jadon Sancho leaves Manchester United, that's a wrap for him. I think he's 27 now. I don't know if he's moving on. No. Is he 27? Please remind me. Between 25 and 27. We didn't buy him when he was 25. I think we got him when he was around 25. It's 27, right? Anyway. I don't think Jadon Sancho realizes how much discredit he's doing himself. In a sense that, where is he gonna get that big? Maybe he is depending on his ability, his natural talent. But talent, remember, can only get you so far. Especially in this new day in football. They want you to mix the talent and the hard work. Jadon Sancho, you can imagine, he went to Chelsea on loan with the bright future. He's going to go and do that, they're going to sign him. But then Chelsea sent him back. Chelsea felt the need to pay a fine. Pay a fine for breaking the option to buy clause, and pay the fine because he's not good enough. So this is a player who was supposed to be one of the biggest Europe superstars. He's now just a shell of himself. And to make matters worse, he is only going to teams that are like, he wants a big salary. Why? I don't know. He's trying to maintain his status. There is no status. Whatever he's going to get from Fenerbahce now, this is it. I don't see him getting any kind of big payday unless he goes to Saudi Arabia. Now, he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Why? Because everybody wants to play in the World Cup next year. Everybody wants to, I want to play in the World Cup. Everybody's preparing themselves for that. You know, like Marcus Rashford will jump into, but you understand? So we are trying to see how this is going to pan out, and honestly, I feel sad for Jadon Sancho. I really do, in the sense that he's a good player. You know, he was supposed to do big things, and now he's just been relegated to I don't know what it is. You know, like putting a value on yourself that, you know, you can't even deliver. You know, I'm looking at Victor Osimhen, right? Victor Osimhen and his agent, they've got a specific number. That number, they don't change from it, and that's the reason why Victor Osimhen is struggling. He will find a club. He always does. Towards the end of the transfer window, he will find a club, or there will be a club that somehow, I don't know if that will be us, I don't know, but he always tends to find a club, and then he will be on that club maybe on long, because Victor Osimhen's situation is quite unique. His salary demand is quite huge, and a lot of clubs cannot handle that. But at the same time, they need strikers, and he's one of the best out there. Like, I like his strategy. At the same time, I'm like, yo, bro, you need to be careful, because he's basically putting his money where his mouth is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's betting on himself, he's trusting on himself, and it's up to you whether you're going to fall for it or not. And that's the same thing that we have with Jadon Sancho. He's not particularly good. He's just alright. He's just alright. You know? So I don't know how we're going to deal with this situation with Jadon Sancho. But Fenerbahce are interested. Jadon Sancho is valued at 28 million. You know, and I'm trying to understand, you know. And Fenerbahce, they are planning to offer 18 million. Now you can imagine Sancho's personal terms. Sancho wants 12 million a year. 12 million euros a year. This is double-digit figures. Why? I don't know. He wants to maintain the contract that he got from Manchester United, because listen, we gave him a lucrative, a very big contract. He was earning 300k, upwards of 300k. So here we are with the child that doesn't want to leave the club, or is making it difficult for us to offload him, and yet he's demanding ridiculous amounts of money. So that's Jadon Sancho for you. This is the guy that Erik ten Hag took under his wing, sent him to the Netherlands to go get his head right. He's the player that we supported from the beginning. He's turned into a villain. You know, Jadon Sancho feels like he's a foreigner. He feels like he's a Di Maria or Carlos Tevez. Honestly, that's how I categorize Jadon Sancho, because I don't see. Man, it's sad. It's really, 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 really sad. And yeah, now we move on to Marcus Rashford, who is on a press tour or campaign. He's campaigning, basically. He's looking for a club. He's not looking for any kind of club. He's only looking for Barcelona. Barcelona are in a predicament. This is why at the same time I also feel sorry for Rashford. I mean, I feel bad for him, but at the same time I don't, because, you know, these past couple of days, the reports and everything that has come out from Marcus Rashford have been very, very interesting. And at the same time, just sit there and think to yourself, like, yo, bro, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, How many times do you want to throw it in our face? You know, we are a club that takes pride in our ex-players. We take pride in our academy. We take pride in our history. Marcus Rashford is part of that history. He's part of that academy. He's part of that tradition. You know, that blueprint that calls us Manchester United. And then you look at what Marcus Rashford has become, where he's literally begging to go to Barcelona, where he's literally putting himself out there like, look, who doesn't want to be playing with the best? Calling Thierry Henry his idol. Since when? Like, we understand, but you've not said this for years. Now, obviously, he said Thierry Henry is his idol because he wants to go to Barcelona. Thierry Henry was a winger that changed his exploits to become a striker. You know, and when he was at Barcelona, that's where he actually did most of his deadly work. Well, no, it was at Arsenal, but you understand what I'm saying. He evolved. He became a striker. Now, Rashford is sitting here telling us that, look, he's evolving as a player, as a person. You know, he's willing to adapt and become that number 9, that central focus. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, bruh, a couple of months ago when Ruben Amorim was trying to make you see football the way he sees football, where was all this passion? Where was all this ingenuity, like trying to make things happen? You spat in our face, you shat in our faces, you told us that there were no hard feelings if you left, you know? You remember that? You told us that. I was sitting here looking at you saying you want to play with Yamal, 17 years. You are 10 years older than him. At one point, you were the next best thing. Now you are busy here. Oh, everyone wants to play with the best. You know, you are fighting. Like, you're literally begging Barcelona, who, by the way, they are in a predicament. They have got financial issues, which the whole world knows. They want Nico Williams. Like, that's one of the wingers that they want. You are a pest, basically. You are a hindrance. You are a distraction. You are... I mean, if you do land that deal and go to Barcelona, oh, fair and well, because, like, look, like, we could use a Marcus Rashford at Barcelona, you know? If he is truly saying what he's saying, that he's willing to adapt and become that focus, that central focus, hey, man, because Lewandowski is aging, you know, it's almost time that we start parting ways with him, but we need a prolific striker. We don't want somebody that's going to come there. They don't want somebody who's going to come there and need training wheels. No. Barcelona needs somebody who is there now. You look at Nico Williams. Nico Williams is still sorting out the financials with Barcelona. Once that happens, I don't know. And then you look at their roster. Who are in the wings? Yamal, Rafinha, Nico Williams. They've got others, but Rashford wants to join that frame. I'm guessing he's willing to take a pay cut. He's also willing to share the spotlight with Nico. Like, the desperation is real. Personally, I'm a little bit disappointed. I am. Because, look, man, and I know I've not been in Rashford's camp in a long time. Like, I've called him out. This is my 3rd year. I've called him out. Like, I called him out after his 30-goal season. Because I'm now sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, bro, you need to replicate what you did, or you need to do at least something close to that. Did Foco. And then from that moment, I was... And I remember telling myself that because when he was having his 30-goal season, we knew it was a blip in the system. We knew it was a glitch in the matrix. But to be proven wrong, and, you know, just so that, you know, you could think it's motivation. You know, it's like, yo, dude, you did 30 goals? Go and try again. Let's see if you can get 20. We're not saying go and get 30 goals, but try and get those numbers that you... And with Rashford, it has never been like that. And I remember at the time when I'm like, if Rashford does not perform or give these numbers, 30 or come close to it, then I am done. He to me is a mediocre player. He's just like every other normal player. Because at Manchester United we need consistency. And when it comes to consistency, we need consistency in goals. We need our wingers, our strikers to put at least 15 goals every season. Minimum. 15 goals. You look at the Bryan Mbuemos, the Isaacs, the Matetas, all these strikers and wingers that are playing for these teams. Everybody has, like, they've registered at least 15 goals and assists. An individual. We have got 2 people that are combined for that. You understand? So you can understand where this is coming from. So looking at Marcus Rashford putting himself out there is really cringe for me. I'm sad because, man, at one point we did call this guy. We were like, Rashford. When he was given the number 10, I was excited for him. But the way things have just changed and the way things are now just ugly, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish him all the best. I just don't know. He's when he said that he's willing to become a number 9. What does that mean? Does that mean that Manchester United can use you? Does that mean you're willing to adapt and challenge? Like, are you willing to stay at Manchester United so you can at least fight for a position in Manchester United? Or is Marcus Rashford just pushing this because he's really pushing this because of the World Cup? He wants to go to Barcelona, a team preferably playing in Europe, so he can have greater odds or chances of him being selected for the 3 Lions. That's it. And I'm assuming he thinks that this is probably going to be his last World Cup. Because I don't see, like, the way he has declined, unless he's just going to become Cristiano Ronaldo, who turned, when Cristiano Ronaldo, when he turned 30, it was like, he didn't slow down. He literally just pressed even more and became even more deadly. Now, Ronaldo and Messi are the only unique people that after 30, their numbers, they just continued to rise. They continue to rise. They are the only blips in this. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Rashford, can he do that? We are waiting and see. It's a crazy thing. And then we know he's doing this because of the World Cup. That is it. The best chance for you to be selected for your club is if you're playing Champions League and you are in a good team, basically starting. So I don't know what his thing is, and like I said, I don't think he thinks the World Cup after this coming one, I don't think he's going to make it. I think we'll be seeing players retiring. These young boys will be retiring very, very soon because they do not have the chops for it. They don't. Or you'll see him go to another country and do his thing, get paycheck or whatever. I don't know. But with Marcus Rashford, we'll keep you guys updated on that. The next, Bryan Mbuemo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made our second bid. And I think this bid will be accepted because unlike the first one, which was 45 with, was it 45 with 10 million or 45 with 5 million add-ons? That one was rejected. It was thrown away because Brentford made it very clear. Look, we want you to pay the same kind of money like you paid for Cunha. Around 60. If you give us 60 something, we can start talking. So when Manchester United did a bid for 45 plus 5, they laughed. They were like, you guys are taking a piss. Move on. Move. We don't get time for this. And obviously then, it's a dance. The transfer window is a dance. You bid like this to see what they're going to do. It's a dance. And I told you that Bryan Mbuemo was going to sign for Manchester United. I can say it with my chest that Bryan Mbuemo is going to sign. That's going to be another big addition. When he's going to sign with us, that's where we need to wait and see, because this week is the last week of June. We are moving into July. 2-3 weeks, 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks from now, pre-season, it begins. So we have got 3 weeks or 2 weeks to get in a signing or get most of our signings in. And to make matters worse, you look at these guys that are talking about the financial year. Manchester United is going to do more of its work once they've done with the financial year. When is that? I don't know. I think it's pretty soon. Maybe beginning of July. I don't know. But it's very soon. And Ben Jacobs has mentioned that, look, Manchester United are going to do business after that. Once we start seeing where all the money is, where, you know what I'm saying? Once they have all the numbers right in front of them, that's when they're going to know, okay, let's see where we move. Now, the last topic that I wanted to talk about is Alejandro Garnacho, because I remember seeing him, and I know everybody has talked about this, and all the news outlets, all Talk Sport, everybody, they've talked about Garnacho, and I know me bringing him up now is late, but this is the Glory Reds podcast. So, Garnacho wearing Rashford's jersey on holiday was another piss take. And I'm smiling because I'm happy. I'm happy we're getting rid of Garnacho. I'm sorry. I'm happy. I have a problem with problem child. I have a problem with petulance. I have a problem with people that just think about themselves all the time. I have a problem with it. And I see Garnacho, and I see a young lad with great potential, with talent, but his attitude stinks. And I think I saw this attitude a mile away. I saw it a long time ago. Maybe I just chose to ignore it. Maybe I thought, that's his edge. You need to have an edge as a football player. You need to have that thing that sets you apart. I thought that little chip on his shoulder, mixed with a little bit of humbleness, would go far with him. But nah, the kid thought, in my opinion, thought he was this superstar. I thought he made it seem like he's already made it, like he's already there. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. He made it look like he's already won a Ballon d'Or or a couple of Premier Leagues. He's acting like he's been there, done that, and he's now just chilling and taking a piss. And I'm sorry, that stunt he pulled with wearing Rashford's jersey, number 9, Aston Villa. I mean, look, what message are you sending? Are you further emphasizing to everybody who has been supporting him? There are people that have been having this guy's back saying, nah, he's not like this, not. How do they feel now seeing him wear that jersey with Rashford? And do you understand the significance? Now, people are probably wondering, okay, what's really the big deal? He's supporting his big brother, or he's supporting his brother, blah, 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 blah. You need to understand that Marcus Rashford, how did he get to Aston Villa? How did he get there? That's the question. How did Rashford find himself on loan at Aston Villa? It's because he wasn't working well with Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim said it himself. I failed to make Marcus Rashford see football the way I see it, or the way it should be played. And sometimes a player connects with one coach and he doesn't connect with another. He said that. And he was okay with it. And he even said good luck to Unai. Because you never know. He might connect with Unai Emery. And that's exactly... Did he connect with him? I mean, yeah, he scored a couple of goals. He did. But could we see that there was some connection? Or anything? I don't know. But I guess Unai got something out of him because he was there. And he scored goals and he provided assists. But right here, right now, for Manchester United, he was shit. He was shit. And then to make matters worse, he went online or whatever, journalist had an interview. Nah, if the club wants to part ways with me, no hard feelings. You know, when you do that, it shows that you're reckless, you're out of control. He did all of that stuff by to himself, and slowly started getting exiled. Slowly, until the gaffer was like, no, stop picking Rashford. That's exile. Adios, bye, Rashford. You don't cut it. Benching, not coming to games. What? That's how it started. So now you look at Garnacho wearing the jersey of the infamous Marcus Rashford for what he did. And I say infamous because it's infamous. It's famous for being bad. You know what I'm saying? And then we sit here thinking to ourselves, no, he's just supporting his brother. And then Marcus Rashford has the nerve to say, my brother, as if they've ever connected. That was a blatant fuck you by Alejandro Garnacho to Manchester United, its fans, everybody that has supported it. I'm sorry. Let's call it what it is. It was a big fuck you. Now, I know some of you might think, you guys just like to deep these things too much. You guys are just, you're blowing this thing out of proportion. No. Fine, if you see it like that, cool. I am glad this prick is going. I am glad the boy is leaving the club. I am glad. I'm ready for disciplined players. Look at Mason Mount. Why isn't he having a problem? Casemiro. Like people that hardly played. You don't see them throwing fits and tantrums. But Garnacho, the child, sees it fit to do that. Okay, bro. Adios. So with the Garnacho thing, that's my two cents. It was wrong on so many levels. I remember seeing it and I laughed because I'm like, damn, our club can never catch a break. This kid is really trying. It reminded me of Jadon Sancho. It reminded me of Marcus Rashford. Even under Erik ten Hag when things were tough. It reminded me of those moments. I'm like, here's a kid that doesn't get it. He thinks he gets it, but he doesn't. And hey man, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, views, whatever you want to call it. So, Alejandro Garnacho, bye man. It was real. You had your moment at Manchester, you broke through, but the way of what you're growing up to become is very scary. And I warn the club that Garnacho will be signed to. I warn them, be it Napoli or whatever. I warn you guys. You need to assert yourselves authority. You need to put the kid in his place the moment he arrives. He needs to know that he is nothing special and that he's here as an employee. You need to. The moment you give him that superstar status, you guys are in trouble. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. Peace.